standards in the Royal Air Force are high. Commissioned officers are given rigorous and expensive training in preparation for defending the United Kingdom and to act as a force for good throughout the world. Wrong choices in selecting our officers could prove costly in the future. The candidates we select must have the potential to achieve our exacting professional standards. Tony, Gary, Emily and Kevin are all keen to join the Royal Air Force. They're about to find out if they've got what it takes to be commissioned officers.
I wanted to join the Air Force because you watch films like Top Gun and things when you're a kid. It's probably every boy's dream to go on to become a pilot. It's undoubtedly going to be the most challenging career that I could choose, and there'll be a lot of hurdles to overcome.
I considered joining the Royal Air Force because it would give me an opportunity to do a job in varied environments with different challenges. I could be an air traffic controller operating at a unit which is fixed, or I could be in the field in a country that is totally foreign.
Well, I've decided that the Air Force is really what I'd like to make a career of, so I'm quite apprehensive that, this is my chance to show that I've got what they're looking for.
Hello, welcome to Cranwell.
I want to be a pilot because I get to fly aircraft. To me, that would be amazing. To do that as your job would be great. And to do it for the RAF, that's some of the best aircraft in the world. There's nothing more that I want to do.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to RAF Cranwell and to the Officers and Aircrew Selection Centre.
The next 3 days, we'll see how candidates tackle a range of tests to assess whether they have the vital qualities the Royal Air Force is looking for.
So back to the candidates' mess then, and have a very pleasant evening, and we'll see you all here at 7:15 tomorrow. Thanks for your attention and good luck, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Aptitude. I'm Lindsay Hancock.
The first challenge for the candidates is aptitude testing.
If you're all ready, if you'd now like to begin, please.
The aptitude tests are a method of measuring innate skills that a candidate is born with, to see if he or she is able to cope with professional training and be successful. There are various tests that we give the candidate. First of all, psychomotor skills, where the candidate has to deal with a trace on the screen. For other tests, the candidate is fed with multiple inputs. He has various tasks to do at the same time. The candidate has to have spatial skills, where the candidate is fed with two-dimensional information and then has to interpret that information in 3 dimensions.
It was a total of 18 tests over the 5 hours, and although it was enjoyable, it was mentally challenging and draining.
This concerns the aptitude test that you took earlier on in the day. I believe you're just looking at air traffic control, am I right?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm pleased to tell you that you've passed the air traffic control tests. Your numeracy was certainly above average. Once the tests are complete, the candidate is reviewed and told of the results. In particular, we would concentrate on the level of skill they've achieved for the branches for which they've applied.
Mr. Harris, can you come to the front desk, please? There you go. If you could take your notes, please. Go through the first section.
Following aptitude testing, the candidates undergo an occupational health assessment.
OK, if you could lean forward, put your chin on there, forehead against the band at the top, and look straight in front.
The idea of the medical here is just to check basic medical health and vision. The key difference we have to make between aircrew and support staff is that although aircrew still have to be as fit and healthy, they also have to have very good levels of vision and levels of hearing.
Put your finger on top of your thumb like that, and then clench the other 3 fingers so they're out of the way.
We have to measure everybody coming through here as though they might become fast jet aircrew in the future. Because of the parameters of the cockpit, we have to basically check that they're not too little and they're not too big. Not the longest arms and legs in the world, but they're long enough, and that's all that matters, OK? So fit pilot on that one. Now I just check through the rest of your medical history.
I was only just OK on the reach. My functional reach was just within limits, but there's a cut-off point, and if we're over it, then that's fine. So it's big relief, and hopefully we'll go on from here.
So if you could take this through back to medical reception, and then they'll sort you out from there, OK?
Thank you very much.
That's a pleasure. Well done.
Later in the day, they will also undergo a fitness assessment.
It's hard. It seems easy to start off with, but soon it gets harder.
and it's hot in here, so it's a difficult test, quite hard physically, but I enjoyed it. Certainly need to go get a shower now, I think.
Results now will be taken by myself and sent over to the selection HQ, and they'll decide whether they think they're fit enough to join up.
I've done it before for some of the sports training that I've done. I reached a couple of levels higher than that, so a little bit disappointed, but just put it down to a long day.
After a tough day, it's time to relax in the candidates' mess.
Could I have Miss Finn, please? Hello, Miss Finn, how are you? I'm supposed to be the chair. Nice early start for an interview, isn't it?
Emily's been called for her formal interview.
This is Miss Finn, sir.
Good morning, Miss Finn. How are you? Do you have a seat on this side of the table there? And relax. How are you feeling?
Not too bad.
A little bit nervous?
Just a bit.
Understandably. Where have you travelled from to get here today?
I'm from Bath.
And how have you found life in the candidates' mess so far?
It's very good, very pleasant.
In the first part of the interview, she was relaxed and appeared quite confident and was well able to express her thoughts clearly. She also was, and it's important this, she was herself. She didn't try to be what she thought an officer in the RAF should be. She behaved naturally and she came across very well.
So as an engineering officer, what aircraft would you like to work with?
Probably the Tornado.
What do we use the Tornado for?
There's two variants. There's the ground attack reconnaissance and the air defence variant.
And in addition to the Tornado...
I made sure I broadened my own outlook. Spent a lot of time on the internet, both for RAF background knowledge on the Air Force website and on newspaper websites, looking at their archives to build up my current affairs knowledge.
It was clear that she'd done a lot of preparation, given a lot of thought to why she wanted a career in the Royal Air Force, and she had a lot of the qualities that we were looking for.
There are many, many reasons, I think. There were some questions I just didn't know the answer to, and it didn't seem to be a problem. They just moved on when I said I didn't know, and I felt that was definitely the better option than trying to bluff my way through.
Mr. Jones?
Yeah?
Could you come to reception, please? You're going to go through for your review now, OK?
After the part one of the selection procedures, the interview, medical and the aptitude tests, all the candidates' data is analysed, and some of them at this stage will go through to part two, others, I'm afraid, won't. And it's the ones that aren't going through to part two that I deal with as the review officer. OK, well, I gather you've just had some very disappointing news from the doctor.
Yeah, they said that I was slightly short-sighted, but they haven't actually said what that means.
OK, well, I'm afraid to say that what it does mean is that I'm afraid you're not fit for pilot training in the Royal Air Force. I mean, it's obviously nothing, it's not your fault, nothing you can do about it.
Obviously, I was devastated. It's a dream that I've had since I was very young, and it's all I've wanted to do. So I've got a lot of kind of thinking to do, what to do next, really.
The thing now is you have two options, and you're going to have to make a decision. One is, if you wish to, you can withdraw yourself from the proceedings at this time and just sort of pack it in and go home. If in principle what you're really looking for is to be an officer in the Royal Air Force, then there is no reason why you shouldn't put another branch down at this stage.
Thinking about my options, obviously I've done some research about being an officer, and at the moment I could say that it's something that I'd like to do. So it's a case of deciding whether any of the branches I could see myself doing as a career.